All right, so welcome to Killer Horror Remakes Part 2. This time we're going to take a look at two more of my favorite horror films from when I was a kid growing up, the Amityville Horror Remake and the Dawn of the Dead Remake. So these are two movies that really helped sort of put my coffin in the concrete of being a horror fan for life. I remember watching these movies countless times, especially Dawn of the Dead, but we're going to start off talking about the Amityville Horror Remake that stars Ryan Reynolds of Deadpool fame. He's been in Van Wilder. He's been in tons of cool movies that I really like growing up. And I think he's been in a few. I don't think he's actually ever been in another horror film other than this one, but basically the story of Amityville Horror is there's this family. It's actually a combined family, the husband and the wife. The wife already has 3 kids. And it starts off with them getting a new house. That's a deal that's too good to be true, and they find out what happened at the house. And a bunch of bad shit starts happening throughout the house. And Ryan Reynolds turns from this kind of like cool, big brothery uncle kind of guy to this asshole. And he treats the kids like shit near the end. One of my favorite scenes about this film is that the couple goes out for a night and they leave the kids under the care of this babysitter. This babysitter chick is like this stoner kind of chick, and she tells them the story of what happened at the house, and it's really crazy. And they basically dare her to go up in this one closet of the youngest girl who was murdered in this massacre that happened years ago. So she goes up there, all like, imagine this, like, you're stoned as fuck, you go in this closet, and all of a sudden, like, this ghost of this chick you used to babysit is like looking at you all weird and shit. It's twisted, very twisted. That's probably my favorite scene of the whole film, by the way. I really love Ryan Reynolds chopping his wood, going nuts. I love the weird spy versus spy kind of entity that lives in the basement of the house. It used to be like a cult kind of house. You get some lore in there with the chick who's I don't remember her name as an actress, but she was in the 30 Days of Night film. And she kind of looks into some stuff. You get a priest come in, like the whole regular routine you get with a film like this. But man, I just think it's so well done. Like this remake is way better than most of the sequels, the later Amityville sequels that have came out for sure. So I think it's a worthy remake, and I really suggest you checking it out. It's not really talked about that much. Like when you think of horror remakes, you're thinking of like the Freddy Krueger remake, which sucked dick. The Friday the 13th remake, which was questionably okay. And we'll see what happens with this Candyman film, but Amityville Horror is amazing, and that is going to move us on to our next film in this video, which is Dawn of the Dead, which is an amazing film from 2004, directed by Zack Snyder, and he's remaking the George Romero 1979 or 1978 classic. Like it's very hard for me to explain how much my dad was like kind of against this film when I was a kid. He's like, they're remaking that, like they're remaking Dawn of the Dead, like that's one of the best fucking movies of all time. And I agreed with him. I was like, yeah, this is bullshit. Why would they do that? Like, there's already a Dawn of the Dead. Why the fuck do they gotta make another one? I was wrong, because this movie came out. The first time I watched it, I was at my buddy Mike's house and we were watching it, and I watched like maybe like half of it, and then it wasn't until like the following weekend when my dad rented it and we watched it, and we were like, wow, this is crazy. We got our fast zombies, which I was never the biggest fan of, but now that I'm a bit older, I really fuck with the fast zombies. I mean, if I was in this situation, I'd want slow zombies, but I like watching fast ones when they're shot right. I don't like when it's all like that crazy jittery kind of cinematography. I like this because it shows the fucking, like when it shows that Asian dude with one arm running at the door, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy, man. You get a insane. If you don't know the story, the plot of this film, basically, a bunch of survivors during the zombie apocalypse take refuge in a mall. Okay, and Ving Rhames is in there. You got, I don't know his name, but the guy that played CJ is, I love him. I fucking love him. He's so good. CJ is one of the best characters in any movie. Period. He's a likable douchebag. Or not douchebag, likable asshole. Because douchebag is, no one likes a douchebag. But after a while, they decide that they can't fucking handle living in this mall anymore. So they make a break for this marina. And on the way, they got like this dude who's on a roof, like maybe 250 meters away from the mall, that owns a gun shop, and he's starving. So they try to send him some food, and of course he gets fucked over. And there's this whole raid or siege of them going over to try to help him. And it ends up in the tunnels. You got lots of gunfire. You got so much cool gunfire in this film. You got good practical effects. You got your slew of likable characters. Even some of the characters you like that die, you're like, damn, that's a bummer. Like, you don't usually feel that with a movie like this, at the time anyway, because you cared about the people dying in Dawn of the Dead, the original, and you actually do care about, when your main guy Michael, who's not the best character in the film, but when he dies, it's kind of sad. And I'm glad Ving Rhames didn't die in this film, and he's actually in the Day of the Dead remake from, I don't even want to go near those fucking things. But man, I'm telling you, when I say I really like this movie, I'm not shitting you, man. There's so many good lines. Like, I think Ken Foree makes an appearance. The dude that plays Roger makes an appearance. Tom Savini's in this film, and that's all through the news. And Ken Foree gets to let out his iconic fucking little speech about how when the dead will walk the earth. I just totally butchered that. When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. Man, like, that's burned into my memory so much that I fucking messed it up on camera. But I'll leave that in there to show you that sometimes shit happens. But fuck, man, this movie's so goddamn good. I sound just like I'm just a fanboy right now. So I think that's probably a good time to end this video. Killer Horror Remakes Part 2. Yeah, look out for probably The Last House on the Left. And I'm not exactly sure what I want to pair that one with yet. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody for watching. Check out the Facebook page. The link will be in the description. And yeah, adios.